Computers. It didn't start off like this. Let's take it back a few billion years. It all started with the bang, literally. The Big Bang was about 13.8 billion years ago, and according to the law of conservation of mass and energy, it created everything we see today. That means that every single discovered element on the periodic table and undiscovered, including elements used in computers, were created from the Big Bang. Now that we've talked about the main components of computers, let's review another: metals. Just a few of the many parts that make computers. A few metals like gold, silver, aluminum, and copper make up the main parts of the computers that we hold in our hands today. These metals were, as mentioned before, created because of the Big Bang and have a lot to do with the development of life.
Let's fast forward again, this time to 4.6 billion years ago. It wasn't easy for life to form from stars, but with the right Goldilocks conditions and the right ingredients, a little tiny planet we call Earth formed some of the first life forms in the universe. Life is amazing. There are billions of living things that have occupied the biosphere, but the fundamental trait in all of these beings is contained in a three-letter word: DNA. Think of DNA as nature's way of coding. Even before humans were on the planet, DNA was a fundamental part of life. DNA is basically nature's computer.
You might not have assumed that the idea of a computer originated from a woman. However, despite the largely male-dominated workforce of computer engineering, Ada Lovelace, daughter of Lord Byron, was in all respects the first person to invent the idea of the computer. In 1840, Lovelace wrote the first computer algorithm and essentially birthed the idea of the computer. After 101 years of development and industrialization, people just started to publish her work, and the world finally understood her brilliance.
The first computer ever made was created by a pioneering English computer scientist, mathematician, logician, and theoretical biologist Alan Turing. He designed a machine to break the Enigma code, essentially leading to our victory against Germany.
Steve Wozniak is an American pioneer of the personal computer revolution of the 1970s. Wozniak was fascinated by electronics at an early age, and he had an aptitude for building working electronics from scratch. He is best known as one of the founders of Apple and the inventor of the Apple II computer. It all started when Wozniak met Steve Jobs, who was still in high school, through a mutual friend. The two later paired up to form Apple Computer on April 1st, 1976. Working out of a family garage, Wozniak worked on the invention of products, and Jobs was responsible for marketing.
Speaking of Steve Jobs was one of the most important people in the recent technological advances of computers. He is known as the face of Apple Company, and with his partner Steve Wozniak, created many new inventions that had never been seen before. Technology was already a part of society, but Jobs and Wozniak were able to accelerate the industry. Together, they made the computer industry more accessible to the public, as well as improved its convenience and availability. CD players switched to iPods, and the items we use every day are part of Steve Jobs' contribution to the computer.
Our world would not be the same if computers weren't a part of it. Computers are responsible for countless benefits to society as a whole and have vastly improved our system of communications across the globe. Also, without the invention of the computer, technology would have been significantly less advanced. Other technologies in our modern culture, like phones and televisions, would also have been limited. It is vital to recognize the magnitude of the computer in modern society, for without it we would be utterly lost. So the next time you pick up your phone or open your Chromebook, think of all the people that have made our lives necessary and all the ways that we use collective learning today.